This little zine right here is so cool. It has so much love in it. It has really cool combat mechanics as well, and like a whole little world that it kind of immerses you in. This is very cool. Today we're talking about Fluff in Fury. Let's break it down. Well, hi, hello, everybody. My name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here, we do all different kinds of TTRPG things. But that's right, today we're talking about Fluff in Fury. Right here at the top, I want to give a big old shout out to my friends at Weird Place for sending this over to me for the purposes of making some content on it. Here's the other thing. They have another TTRPG they're developing that is actually solo, and hopefully we're going to get our hands on that bad boy, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more later in the video, so keep an eye out for that. Secondly, I just adore what Weird Place is doing, developing games. They actually have their own YouTube channel over there, so big shout out to them. Hey, our back and forth email was also very, very cool. Turns out they had actually seen my channel before and used my videos to, help learn some stuff before they played on some of their videos. It's just very cool. The back and forth is amazing here in this community. So shout out Weird Place. You guys rock. Thank you so much. All that being said, though, of course, all of my thoughts on this game system will remain my own. That's right. They only sent me the book. That's pretty much it. And I get to say whatever the heck I want about it because of all of you guys supporting the show. Thank you so much. My awesome Couch Crew members. Cheers, you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the dang old show. You rock. Now, that being said, of course, there will be links to all the games I discuss in today's video down in the description for your convenience if you want to use them to pick up these things, all right? What are we going to be doing in today's video here, Turkey? Well, today's not going to be an actual play of Fluff and Fury because it's not really designed for solo. I know our channel really is kind of solo focused, but this game has so much love and it's so cool and it's so awesome. And I think it is soloable with the right extra tools you could get, all right? Abso-dang-tootly. But it's just so cool, I really want to talk about it. So today we're actually going to go over this book a little bit. I'm going to give you all my thoughts about it. I do not consider myself a reviewer, all right, but more or less a showcaser, and then you can make your own decisions if you want to get game and play game or not, okay? That's right. Now, they did send me this and a couple little extras, so we're going to be covering all of that, and we're going to talk a little bit about their future game that they have coming up here pretty soon, because that we will be playing on the channel if we can manage to get our hands on it. So leave a like on this video so Weird Place knows that you enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. Without any other further shenanigans, let's get over somewheres to talk about this thing. Oh, let's go over here first. Here it is, Fluff and Fury on Hit Point Press's website, as we can get it, $25. Additionally, one thing I do not have that they did actually develop for this bad boy are the dice for this thing, and I'm going to tell you, because of the mechanics in this game, these would be so cool to have while playing this game, all right? I don't have these, but I am a dice goblin, and I do really want them, so I might go on ahead and order them for myself for whenever I play this game, because I do intend on playing this game in its entirety, maybe with some friends or by myself. We'll see. Okay. Additionally, you can get it as a PDF, all right? Absolutely. It does look pretty good as a PDF as well. Cool. Top-down camera. Here we are with Fluff and Fury, and we have a little bit of extra things. Yes, we do. So before we whip that open, I want to show you guys, they sent me this really cool also stickers. A lot of these stickers are actually going to go on my solo journal for the year. I've already got my Weird Place sticker right here on the front of my solo journal. And then as I play this game, it's actually going to go in here as well. Could be a lot of fun. All right. So they sent me some stickers. You know how much I love stickers, you guys. Bootleg relics, love that. We also got a little zine here. This thing is very, very cool. It's basically like a one-shot little campaign setting for the game. And I was a little confused by it at first because of its crazy layout, but after I understood what was going on, it's just so cool and so sweet to actually step through this thing. It gives you ideas and other kinds of encounters and mechanics for those encounters for Fluff and Fury, and the art in it is just so cool. It reminds me of the back of a cereal box, and I'm kind of all about that. So that's one extra thing that they sent me. B1, find one's purpose. Very good. Oh yes, note that they sent me, and this is the cover for their new upcoming game, Residue. And I'll see if I can pull up some more stuff on Residue towards the end of the video. But Turk, thanks so much for reaching out to us. Your content is great. We're looking forward to seeing what you do with Fluff and Fury. Keep up the great work. Lee and Gabriel. Thanks, Lee and Gabriel. You guys rock. Yeah, I've been actively watching your content recently. All right. But now, this is Residue, right? This project needs your support to exist. Residue looks very, very cool. It's a solo game, all right? An apocalypse-ish themed solo game. A little bit hex crawly, all right? Very, very fun. So right now, whip out your phone, go on ahead and scan that, get over there and follow that Kickstarter, okay? Because I already am. It's going to be sweet, all right? Residue. We'll talk more about that later. And of course, I cut the sticker off of the packaging that they sent me because I save stuff like that. Here's a Residue sticker. Very cool. Solo survival sci-fi horror. There it is. Awesome. Now we've got this cool sticker sheet, and I was like, oh, cool stickers. And my partner, she was like, I need that sticker. And I was like, after the video, I'll let you have the sticker. But anyways, it's not just a sticker sheet. It's also a one-shot gig on the backside. I love that. You got the space, use it. Super, super fun right here. And I love how up here it says you wouldn't download a sticker sheet. Yeah, the vibes with this game, all in all, fantastic. All right. We love it so much. So that's our little sticker sheet right there. Cool. They're also doing 80s magic. I think these are cards as well. Yeah, a deck of magic cards inspired by 80s sword and sorcery. Very cool stuff. So if you're interested in that as well, you can go ahead and scan that little scratch and sniff right there that smells like old wizard socks. Very good. Cool. We've got another little one shot here. This is Sewer Days. I haven't read through this one in its entirety yet, but it looks like it's formatted the same as the other one, but it actually has some extra little guys on there, mutants and humans. Very cool. Awesome little fold out. And by the way, the cardstock paper on this is very nice, very thick, very awesome. Like these aren't just little fold out pieces of paper. It's well, it is a fold out piece of paper, but it's very nice quality is what I'm trying to say. This is the free player's guide. I believe probably if you see these guys at conventions, this is probably something you might be able to get. Free player's reference, and it has all the rules in it, so you can actually hand these to your players. And it isn't only black and white. There are little accent color images that I find fun. And that's that. Now, we're going to get into Fluff and Fury. We're going to talk about some of the mechanics of it, and we're going to talk a lot about what I really liked about it, okay? Because there's a lot in here that I really enjoyed, and there are mechanics in here that I think are just neat, all right? And it's mechanics in games like this that you're only going to be able to find in games like this, right? Folks thinking outside the box and doing things a little bit differently because they aren't worried about, you know what I mean, breaking the mold and stuff like that. That's why I love covering indie RPGs, because they just do cool stuff that you would never think mechanics to do wise before. All right. Before we open up the book, though, I actually do want to show you guys that Residue is actually live, okay, on Kickstarter. It is live. All right. It's very, very cool looking. All right. Yeah, I don't know if that scratch and sniff link is going to work for you guys, okay, but I'll make sure to include the link for this bad boy in the description, all right, of the dang old video. Very cool. Very dark. Very awesome. All right. Contrast to what we're looking at today, you know, fun, whimsical, wild. This is big time contrast. They're really showing that they can do both here. All right. They can do hardcore, serious, and fun, awesome, crazy. And we love it. All right. So get over there and check this out as well. My goodness. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. It uses cards. You guys know how much I love cards. All right. And it's got hex crawl map. And look at, oh my goodness. I would use that hex map for so much. All right. Moving on. Okay, now we're back to Fluff and Fury. Very cool. Look, we always talk about the outside first. The first thing I love about this book is that the edges of the pages are green, and I just love it. It's just so cool. The full book in its whole design and entirety is awesome. It has some really cool neon green embossing on it that I think is just fantastic all the way around it. And you could see the little bear's eyes and all the little mechanicals going on. A CyBear punk TTRPG. Yes, indeed. Okay, and I have had this thing with me for about a week. I've been taking it everywhere, reading it, doing all kinds of stuff. So it does have a little bit of wear and tear on it. Okay. Now this might be hard for you guys to read, but this is the single part that I actually want to read in this book verbatim. I usually don't read things verbatim, but this one part I believe needs to be done because it's such a good introduction to this game and its theme that I want to do it. All right. Neurocore online, CyBear functions, active, initializing. All right. You're up. Great. Welcome back, buddy. Listen up. You're going to need the basics if you want to survive out here. Sorry to wake you like this, but we need some help. The year's 2198, and yeah, the world's fucked. Heat waves, acid rain, poison clouds, radiation, you name it. Everything here is trying to kill you, but somehow we're still kicking. Thanks to Teddy Models Industries and Sin Labs. Gave humanity another shot. Second, third, hell, maybe fourth. Who's even counting anymore? Before you get all excited, let me tell you about the CyBears. Back before the collapse, these little guys were the biggest thing. Every frickin' house had one. Cybernetic teddy bears with just enough AI to handle jobs humans didn't want to do. Secretary, babysitter, firefighter, hell, even goddamn cops. Turns out, people prefer their riot control to be something cute instead of a chrome nightmare. By that point, CyBears were everywhere. Then the service went toxic dumpster fire. Cities emptied, bunkers filled up. We all thought it was game over. Then Sin Labs rolled out their master plan. Pop your brain out, mix it into some fancy quantum computer goo, and jam it into a tube. Boom, and you're a neurocore. Hook that neurocore into a top-shelf robotic synthetic body, a perfect fake human, and guess what? You could walk the earth again. Love, fight, party, whatever. Only catch, it costs more than your life was ever worth. So, the rich got their new bodies, and the rest of us, we got screwed real good. Till someone, some hero, some psycho, probably both, hacked a CyBear, shoved a neurocore right inside one of those little fluffos. Made it work. After that, it was open season. Everyone with half a brain and no cash started stuffing themselves into CyBears. Teddy Models Industries, the same guys who made the war robots right before they slammed fur on them, caught on quick. Started selling pre-modded models ready for neurocore straight off the line. Cuddly little bodies packed with military-grade firepower to survive the hostile surface. And now it's all sprawling out. Civil War's brewing. Red Paw's army is screaming for freedom. Trisharp's corporation is tightening the leash. And down here in Patch City, biggest, meanest city left in South America, it's every CyBear for themselves. You want to live forever? It's easy. Just gotta keep paying your electricity bill. And if you can't, you'll end up like the rest. Lying dead on the curb, parts ripped out, dreams drained dry. A broken little body with a dormant soul trapped inside. Welcome to the future, cutie. Hope you brought a wallet and a machine gun. Yes, and that is a little difficult to read, but I love the theme of this. It really sets the tone for the game ahead. Like, I hate whenever apocalypse games don't tell you, like, what the heck's going on. They just assume that you're like, okay, the world has ended, you know? No, but this really kind of sets everything up for you, and it's fantastic. It's a little hard to read, though, with the black and the color, but I think it's themey, right? It's like a computer screen booting up. You're looking at some coding, you know what I mean? So it's very cool. So I don't have a gripe about it. I think it's worth it. You know, you're going to have to try a little hard to read it, but it's cool. Now, I'm just going to step through all of this. I'm going to point out some of my favorite parts just to give you enough so you can decide if this game is for you or not, okay? For me, it is a game for me, 100%. It's not like anything else, right, that I've played recently, and it's fantastic. So let's discuss. You're going to make your CyBear, all right? That's what you're going to be playing as, and you can kind of get wild and whimsical with it, and they aren't all just bears, all right? We'll show you later, but there's like ducks and other kinds of stuff that you could be a duck, a whatever of, right? So you actually choose your cute type. There are different classes in here, and each class does give you something different, which is fun. You could be a mechanic, a face, a tank, a pyro, a hacker, or a phantom. We'll get into those later. CyBears also do have special moves in CyBear wear. Say that 10 times fast. And it does walk you through the skills and everything else. It's very good. I think I want to get a little zoom here on this so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay, all right. Moving on, it goes into descriptions about your neurocore. All right, tells you a little bit about it. But yeah, basically your mind, this is your mind now, which I find really fun. It's like if your CyBear bot that you're in basically dies, you could rip out your neurocore and put it in another robot. You know what I mean? Gives you, it's like whenever a character dies, you have to make a new character, but you're still the same mind, which I think is fun. And there is actually whole mechanics for that later in the game as well. So here's our options for little cuties. We have the original, we have the cousins, which is funny, frog, horse, penguin, monkey. We have the ocean pals, which I know some of my friends are going to be really excited about that. Fish, seal, dolphin. I would absolutely be a seal. Duck, crocodile over here for the next generation. And then we have the collector's edition, bat, gorilla, capybara. Look, you can be all different kinds of cutie little robots. All right. You know, be a capybara with a rocket launcher. I mean, that's just fun. But additionally, you don't only pick your type, you also pick like, show you over here. You get little extra CyBear wear, right? So you could be a capybara and you roll on this extra little table to figure out what your extra CyBear wear is, because everyone comes with a factory feature already installed. So you start with something like in this little example here, this little bear has helicopter coming out of its head, and that's kind of fun. So now we're going to go over the classes here. Each one of them has different skill expertises, which will give you bonuses on your dice rolls. We'll talk a little bit more about the dice rolls once we get there, but they'll give you little expertises on things. There also is level up modules for them, and you do roll for a model of mechanic as well, and each model will give you a different bonus, and this is pretty much the same for each class. I love this little artwork right here, giving you a good example of what you're thinking about doing. This is the tank. Pretty fantastic. We've got the hacker, the face, so cute, absolutely adorable, the pyro, and the phantom. Very cool stuff. All right, so now we're gonna talk about weapon expertises, and the weapons and the shooting in this game is, I think, themed in this game. It works so well. It's so perfect. I wish that other games could apply the same mechanic, but basically the way that it works is you roll roll a full pool of D6s, like up to I think like 10, somewhere around there. Because I think no, this one, even the bazooka rolls 12 D6, as you can see right here. And if you get a 6 on one of those D6s, you deal 1 point of damage, right? But each gun itself has an expertise to it, and you actually, as a robot, start with a certain expertise. You could use whatever gun that you want, but your CyBear is expert in one of these weapons, and whenever you use that weapon, each weapon has its own fun little mechanic to actually give you more hits on your shot, basically. And you roll pools of D6s. So for example, on the bazooka, if you're an expert in it, every dice that shows a 3, 4, 5, or 6 becomes a hit. And it has a little example down here, which I think is fantastic. But for the flamethrower, any group of consecutive numbers, like 2 in a row, become 6s. So for this example, 1, 2, 3, then we have 3, 4, then 4, 4, 6. So here you're dealing a total of 7 damage because 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4 become 6s, right? It's a really fun and crazy mechanic to deal more damage whenever you're an expert in that said weapon. It's so cool. And each gun has something like that. On the shotgun, every die showing a 2, 3, 4, or 5 becomes a 6 whenever you are in close range here and you're dealing with shotgun. We have dual pistols, which actually rolls 2 separate pools of D6s, right? And then if numbers match across each set, so you have a 1 over here and a 1 over here, that becomes a 6. Crazy stuff. And there are 6 different archetypes for weapon: machine gun, sniper rifle. Very cool. I think it's just fantastic. It's just so fantastic. Like, I love the weapon expertise and the weapons to hit mechanic in this game. It's so simple and so fun. Rolling a whole pool of D6s, just be like I'm shooting a friggin' bazooka. Oh man, when I was reading through this, I was like, this is so sick, dude. But let's see if we skimmed over the main rolling dice mechanic yet, because that being said, we actually haven't yet. We haven't gotten there for the main dice mechanic, but it's all D6s pretty much. So we have some roll charts to figure out who your bot is. We like that a lot. In case you can't come up with your own stuff, you've got some examples here to roll on and then role play on. We have our cyberware sections. These are upgrades you can actually get, and it has like quality levels from back alley to discount store to reputable store, and you actually roll on multiple roll charts whenever you're doing this stuff. It's very cool. I love a good roll chart. It's friggin' fantastic. Now we have the actual how to play mechanics. So you're gonna roll your dice pools. So the number of dice that you roll comes from your dice pool. You have your base dice plus your skill expertises, which we can see over here, right? We have all of the base skills and then all the expertises underneath them. As it says over here, whenever something risky happens, you roll, like, for example, we have body is force and connects, right? And mind is neural and influence, right? You roll your base dice and you assign your base skills to your CyBear, 3, 4, 2, and 2 in any order and any value to any one of these main 4 stats. And then you get expertises underneath them that will give you extra dice to roll in your dice pool. Simple enough stuff. We've seen stuff like this before. But the fun part about it is that the glitch master, the GM in this game, can actually give you fuck dice, basically. F dice or A dice. A dice is like advantage dice, and then F dice is like fuck dice. And as I showed you the dice earlier, all right, there are 2 different colors of dice. So the idea of this is that you need to have 2 different color sets of dice on the table, or at least your game master needs to have his own set of dice that are a different color from everyone else's. And whenever you're, as a player, doing something difficult, he'll say, okay, this is difficult. Here are 3 fuck dice that you have to roll in your dice pool. And those dice negate your successes. So fun. Let me say it again. So fun to be like, as a game master, be like, cool, you're going to need 3 successes, but here are 3 fuck dice you have to roll in your pool because there are 3 things in this situation that are going to make it difficult for you. So fun. Including skill rolls and weapon rolls. So like if an enemy's behind cover, right, that could add to your weapon pool dice, right? Any ones rolled cancel out 6s. Fuck dice represent how difficult a task is. There's no limit to how many can be added, and rolling a 6 on a fuck dice isn't a success. But if you get 1s on it, then they negate your successes. It's very cool. And then we have examples here for how many you might get. Risky is just none, but you might get 1 on a desperate roll, a 3 on a brutal, or 6 on a savage, etc. Really, really fun. But of course, in the inverse, you also get A dice, which are basically advantage dice. So if you have a situational advantage, or you can save extra 6s from previous successes that you got. Like whenever you succeed, let's say you succeed with like 5 6s on a skill roll, you can just say, okay, I'm going to save one of those, because you're going to be getting extra 6s here and there. And it actually says in here, whenever you get more 6s rolled, the more awesome the success becomes. But you could also just save that extra 6 for a future roll if you need to. Like, oh, well, this next roll is going to be difficult, so I'm going to save this. Well, I'm just going to take a regular success, Fun stuff. Rules for success and failures, and we have all of our skills. Again, I'm not going to be reading this verbatim, but it's very cool. They're all rules for group rolls, rolling things together, and contested rolls. And additionally, I do actually want to point out on the A rolls here, the advantage rolls, there's a prep phase in this game before you go and do stuff. And during that prep phase, you can actually get, you can do things that can give you that situational advantage later to give you that extra dice. Like you could hack into a computer system before you actually go and attack something. You know what I mean? Could be fun stuff. Okay, we already talked about how the guns work, but these are full-on combat rules for everything, which, absolutely good to have. So each action you can move, or each turn you can move and do one action, right? Fantastic stuff. There are bonus actions you can get, like simple ones, like you can drink basically this like soda that gives you extra powers and stuff. We'll talk about that later if we get to it. We have a list for actions and a list for free actions. Move, drink, talk, draw, reload. Very cool. Those are your free actions. They talk about movement, which I like a lot. It's just close, medium, long range, but they actually break it down for you if you're into that. Guns do have weapon penalties, which could just be covered with F dice, right? Straight up, check those out. Like firing a flamethrower at long range target 3 ranges away is highly unlikely to succeed due to the weapon's nature. The GM may rule that it has no effect at all. On the other hand, firing a sniper rifle when engaged in close combat might add 6 F dice to the roll, reflecting how difficult it is to aim and maneuver in that situation. It's just, it's awesome, honestly. And then we have cover penalties as well. It's just adding in those extra F dice is just such a cool mechanic for like anything. It's just fantastic. Cool. So these are full rolls for hitting 0 HP and then people saving you and putting your neural core in another body. It actually walks through all the steps and restarting your character, re-putting up your skills and what you might carry over. It's badass, honestly. You're like, oh, dang, well, I had a capybara who died. And then the GM might say, well, around the corner, you find, an old scrappy duck bot that is empty and you can charge it up and put your neural core in there. Could be a fun situational thing, or you could just buy another bot. Anyways, we have other rules for overloading and glitching, so you can actually push your rolls to get extra bonus dice on them. Additionally, you will overload and start glitching if you don't charge. You need to charge. It's kind of the whole main point of playing this game is like you need money so you can pay for power, so you can then charge your bot so you can live another day. But if you keep pushing yourself and you don't charge or you don't sleep, you actually start to overload. But instead, you can choose to overload to get the extra dice. But if you overload too much, you're going to start glitching. And then there's a whole glitch roll chart for things that might happen to you while you are glitching. And you can glitch multiple times. And yeah, it's kind of fun. And I haven't really pointed it out here. All right. But as we're going through these pages, the immersion in this book is awesome. All the art in this is awesome. Like, it's so cool. And this is like set up like the hacking page looks like an actual coding board because you can actually hack and there's full rules for hacking. And you can actually like high risk table. You could suffer glitches from hacking high risk targets and failing. But you can like hack into the neural network, you know what I mean? And use your CyBear to try to like stop some security cameras or something like that when you're going on a heist. And they could be low risk or high risk targets. But this whole immersive little section here is just badass, dude. It's so cool. Now, we actually have some alternate modules, and they say this because these are like basically alternate rules. So we have consequences module where you can actually make decisions and roll small little dice. I'm not going to go into these into full detail, but there are crew modules, and there's a whole separate level up module that you can actually follow to gain XP and then level up. And these are like optional rules that you can use. But I love the way that they're little Game Boy carts, dude. It's crazy, dude. It's sick. And look, they say Fluff and Fury on the top of them. So sick, dude. Love that. Okay, now this next section is pretty much for the game master, but the way that the gameplay works is you prep, you do your mission, you get your payoff, and then you go back and you do another gig, right? And during the prep phase, you could be learning about a mob boss or trying to figure out who you're even trying to go and attack and stuff like that. And then you go and do your mission, right? This is where everything kicks off: hacking, combat, infiltration, and chases, right? Where all the main stuff is happening. And then you finish your mission, you get your payoff, and it starts all over again. Excuse me. It's very cool. And it walks through the full steps of prepping. This is while you're prepping, you can buy stuff, get extra items, stuff like that. It's very fun. Mission, hidden roles, failing forward, mission payouts, it really does have a lot in here for the game master to be able to follow and know what's going on. Additionally, there's like an example adventure, and there's a one shot in this book as well for the GM just to pull out and play right away. This here is the map of, what do they call it? The X? Is that what it is? This is basically unclaimed territory here where all the bad people pretty much all hang out and everything else. This map is kind of really hard to read. It even says that up here. A little overwhelming, I'm sure, but watch out for crossfire. There's a lot going on here, but it really is kind of immersive, this area. And everything is really marked and really kind of cool. I think if you pick up this game, having this as a digital file so you could zoom in and look at stuff, you know, stuff like that, could be really helpful. But there's a lot of just fun stuff in this image. I would love to have this as a poster, put it up on my wall. The more I look at it, I keep finding different things. It's almost like a crazy Where's Waldo. But this isn't the main map, just so you know, so have no fear about that. But it does have a full guide right here, actually walking through everything that is marked over there on the other side. Really, really fun stuff. Full on costs of living here for the game master, so they can tell you how much you need to be paying. This is my favorite page in the book, pretty much. These are the NPCs, right? The characters you might find and run into. Cow Eater. We've got Bill. Bill runs a toilet economy, obsessed with ancient toilet tech. Black market trader, pays anything for rare models from any era of toilets. He buys toilets, this guy, Bill. These are just perfect example characters as well. Whenever you're going through character creation, you could think about doing stuff like this. There was one guy who was like half human, half robot because he couldn't afford a full synthetic body. So the top part of him was, where did I see that? Is it over here? It's somewhere. Oh yeah, maybe it's this guy right here. I'm sure that that's hard to see. Real Where's Waldo. And I think it talks about him a little bit more in the hybrid section. Not everyone can afford a perfect synthetic body, so they build themselves a piece by piece as they climb the social ladder. The most expensive part is the synthetic skin. So many hybrids have translucent bodies until they can afford an upgrade. So this is what I'm talking about. The immersion in this game. There is just world lore in this game that is very, very cool. And it's simple, right? It's simple and easy to follow. Another thing that I really enjoy. I guess it's simple in a way compared to a lot of other crap I've read, and like, I'm not going to remember all this, but in this game, it's like super easy to remember. Like, yeah, all right, so hybrids are broke. You know what I mean? They're trying to get there, but they can't. Easy. Anyways, yeah, we don't have the time to go through all these guys, but Duck Nukem, are you serious? So fantastic. Okay, this is the main map here. So the X, right? What I showed you over here, that's this part right here. But your characters could like get jobs in the X and then have to go to other places that are then run by these said factions down here. And each one of these factions actually has full details as well. So you kind of know who you're dealing with. We come over here. Here we are, the full faction section. So Villa Verde, you can see what place that they might be running according to their logo, and then you can actually say, like, this is where the players are today. This is where you're doing a mission. These are the people you're going up against, and it's kind of fun. I love the little artwork that comes with them, so you can actually describe for the players what they're doing. Or if you're a crazy GM, you could actually print these out, right? And you could cut them up and put them on your little map. You know, these are the enemies you're fighting today. And then we even have ratings for each one of them: safety, criminality, and wealth down here. So fantastic. Satan's pugs, the bare bones, etc. And there's, I don't know, 10 of them, something like that. There's a lot of these little factions that each have their own little artworks, their own little descriptions, and an area that they control in the city. Fantastic. It's a lot of content. It'll take your players a long time to learn all these guys and get through all of them. You could play this for a while, is all I'm saying. There's a lot packed in here for this cool little indie zine that's under $30. Are you freaking serious, dude? It's fantastic. Okay, so this is the example of play as well that I was talking about earlier, the casino heist. So if you're confused about how to play through this thing, it's got full rules on it right here. I hope I've covered everything pretty well. There's the glitch oil I was talking about. That's what you drink, and glitch oil gives you 1 A die for your next roll. So you could drink one of those bad boys. Very cool. All right, buddy. Think the revolution's going to start by itself? Get out there. And this is the one shot here, the Landlord Conclave. Infiltrate a gala, punch some landlords, and score some credits. Yeah, screw them landlords. And this is full on one shot for you to be able to run for your players. And I really enjoy the way that this one shot is laid out, because you can explain to your players what the approaches are, and then it gives you what each one is, and then you can go into a little bit more detail. A lot of times one shots are hard for me to read and run, but I like the way they have theirs laid out. It makes sense in my head when I'm reading it and how I'm going to read it out to the players. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but it totally works out. Then we have our boss over here. He's got 36 HP and 2 armor. Crazy stuff. And we have some more roll charts. All right. So what else can I say about Fluff and Fury? This game is sick, you guys. It's very cool. It was developed by a couple of really awesome folks who are doing their best in this awesome stuff, just making cool stuff. And I think it's very cool. And I think this is a game that deserves your playtime, your support. And I'm really excited that I got to show it off today. So get out there, check out Fluff and Fury, play it. It has very cool dice mechanics. Buy those dang dice. You're gonna want them, all right? It's very cool. And keep an eye out for Residue, all right? The actual solo game that these guys are developing. If we can imagine any kind of level of quality from Residue that we got from Fluff and Fury, all right, and all the little extra cool little bits and pieces, we're going to want it, okay? So keep an eye out for that bad boy. I'm going to link everything down in the description. Let me know what you think about Fluff and Fury just from my quick little overview here. I hope I showed you off enough, all right? Enough to get you thinking about it. Heck yeah. All right, my friends, take a seat on the couch by subscribing, or at least until you find yourselves trapped inside of a CyBear body going after some mobsters with a bazooka yourselves. Roll on that, weirdos. And I'll see you next time. Ha-toodaloo! Just like